Hello, everybody. This is Sonev.
And this is Wave of Shadow. We are bringing you the AHGL League quarterfinals, Microsoft versus Google. This is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm really excited for this game.
And what's special about the quarterfinals, Wave?
What is special about the quarterfinals? Well, the quarterfinals, much like many playoffs, is I'm not really sure what you're.
It's a best of three.
I was like, is that really special? Is
Yeah.
Yes, technically it is special because there have been no best of threes thus far, and basically you're eliminated. You're out this round. If you lose two games now, you're out of the tournament, and you will not be getting to donate $5,000 to the charity of your choice.
This is down to the wire. And they've already, Nighttime and Frozen Fire going back and forth with these bands. They've got Jax, Rumble, Lux, and Vi banned.
Okay, so Google banning Jax and Lux. Can see them both. Lux is,
I know,
underplay. Okay, yeah, we've rehashed Lux enough. There's nothing to say about Lux. She's really strong, good band in my opinion. Rumble and Vi also really strong. Rumble getting gutted if those patch notes go through. Have you seen them?
I have. Yes. It's a little much. I mean, he is strong, but I don't think he's.
You know what? The ult deserves it because the ult, again, I've said one of the strongest in the game, but not how hard they hit it, man.
Orianna ban coming out from Google, and then the Singed ban. I've heard that Singed is getting nerfs. I haven't seen anything yet, but I love Singed, but he's way too strong right now.
They nerfed supposedly the nerf that they're giving him. I think they're getting rid of his CC reduction on his ult.
Oh, come on, but that's the best part.
It kind of is, yeah. I would think, tone down the regen or something a bit, but, that's... The CC reduction is what's, fun of running through a team of 5 players and not being phased in the least. So those are the bans, and we're getting into picks now, and, I mean, those are probably somewhat targeted.
A few of them definitely are.
Yeah, like the Orianna ban, I'm pretty sure is a targeted ban.
Yeah. So, I'm not seeing any patterns yet. Maybe once a couple picks go in, maybe we'll start to see something a little bit more enveloped. I'm assuming that Google is blue side because I never did any switches. So that's just what I'm going with. Oh, and Kayle being picked up. Kayle mid is insane. Still insane right now. She just, her ultimate is so short cooldown late game.
Needs to be a little longer. For an invincibility ultimate, I really would think that they'd increase that a bit.
That you can put on other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does. I do like that new champions are becoming viable in mid lane, just because it's great seeing new champs. Kayle is so annoying though. I hate seeing her.
Especially as a self-proclaimed Evelynn main, I could never I can't even play her anymore this season. Not that I've played very much, but when Kayle showed up, that's it. Just GG. There's nothing you can do against that.
Yeah. So I am interested to see how Microsoft decides to deal with Kayle. What I've noticed is if you can, her ultimate does make her invulnerable to damage, but she's still affected by crowd control. So any sort of roots or slows or stuns can still go on Kayle. So something like Varus and Lulu is awesome against Kayle. Those lockdowns, crowd controls. Lulu is a great support. I love seeing her.
Yep, and a really good thing about, and there's actually, I don't want to say hidden synergy, but Varus and Lulu both have very, very strong wave clear bottom lane, so a really, decent bottom lane. But also Lulu, if she chooses to cast Whimsy rather than on an enemy player, but on Varus, he can actually get a bunch of bonus damage from the AP boost.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, definitely a strong pick. And I like that we're seeing Varus now. I mean, he hasn't been touched in ages, I believe, and we're actually seeing him played at the pro level in, Chinese tournaments and stuff like that. So it's very, very interesting to see him, finally picked up.
Yeah, I was actually just about to ask you about how you feel about Varus, because I think he's incredibly underplayed. He is played often, but not as much as something like Caitlyn or MF or any of those other popular mid-champ, especially Ezreal, but Varus just does so much damage, and I love seeing him. And then, Tristana, my favorite AD carry.
Tristana was I think she was everybody's first AD carry, probably, because... Ashe was your first?
Everyone played the tutorial, man.
I didn't. Tutorial didn't exist when I started playing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it didn't even exist. So, oh no, wait, that very first tutorial. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought you meant like the one after that where they created it was like Garen and
Oh, no, no, no.
no, no. Anyway, so yeah, no, Tristana was my first AD carry, and I really, really loved her because there's nothing better than reaching that point at level 18
Hmm.
where you stand back from 700 range and just blow up an entire team just from auto attacks. It's so
It's
satisfying.
great.
Yeah, and with I mean with the advent again, Blade of the Rune King, she is incredibly strong, and it sort of eliminates a little bit of that mid-game weakness that she's known for.
Yep. And Xin Zhao picked, the last few weeks, we've seen he is incredibly strong as a jungler. His ganks are great. He does a lot of damage. And then even late game, he's still very good because he gets very tanky. He has that ultimate, which just knocks everyone away except for his target. And I really like seeing Xin Zhao again because I've always liked him. But he is very, very popular. And I do like the Kayle Tristana combination because Tristana does have that notably weaker mid game than most other AD carries just because of the way she scales. Although not necessarily true if you're maxing Q. Fun fact.
Is that the new way to play her?
That's how I play her.
Really? Because I mean that I can sort of see the merit in that, but then before you get the range upgrade, what's the point? You're going to be level 9 with a maxed Q, and you're still not going to have great, you're not going to have a lot of damage by that point in the game. You're not going to have a lot of range. I don't really know if I see a point. I still think the jump max or E, or, jump and then E is probably a better choice because you can at least take advantage of lane burst.
Well, see, the way I see it is that it sacrifices that early lane burst, definitely. But it definitely makes her mid-game a bit smoother. Because she is at like a bit more useful in mid-game team fights. Like level 9 when you're maxing W, it's just like all your damage is in W when you jump on someone, and you don't want to do that in a team fight. Q, you can at least stand back and do damage from an attack range.
All right, fair point. Anivia, no, Anivia.
Aha! Got some frogging up in here.
Yeah, very underplayed recently, and I mean always incredibly strong. Really, really good against any sort of a siege comp because. I mean, and really good into a siege comp if you want to pick that, because you basically put her ultimate down on the tower, she wave clears instantly, and the wall. It's you can either lock people down and pick them off away from the tower if you're sieging, or if you're the one being sieged, you can keep them away from your tower. It's she offers both sides. It's great.
Yep, she is very versatile in that sense, and I do like the Anivia pick against Kayle. Kayle is one of those champions that if you end up like getting hit and attacked and just like constantly run down by her, she's gonna kill you fairly quickly. Anivia can just sit back, especially when she's level 6, throw down that ultimate, farm the creeps, and then just not have to worry about her lane opponent. That will be a bit of an issue if Kayle decides to roam a little bit because Anivia isn't quite as mobile, but say in jungle fights, Anivia is great with her stun and her wall. She is very, very useful in that area. So I do like the Anivia pick. And Nocturne, I've always liked Nocturne. So.
Nocturne seems a bit of a, I don't know. I don't want to say a mispick, but I want to say Nocturne. Who's he going to be diving on in this game? He's going to be diving on Tristana. He's going to be diving on maybe Kayle. Kayle's got an ultimate to protect her. Trist has a jump, and the rest of his team so far can't really support him if he dives directly into the enemy team. Aside from maybe Lulu.
Well, what I'm thinking is that Nocturne may be going... A lot of Nocturnes that you see often will build a lot of damage because he does have the potential to do quite a bit of damage. But in this sort of team comp, Nocturne will probably want to build full tank.
Warmog's Rush, for sure.
Absolutely. Full tank with, like, Frozen Mallet and just ridiculous tankiness, especially like Randuin's Omen, so that when he jumps in on Tristana, that attack speed slow will go right on her greatly. Okay. Especially with Lulu.
Now, I'm wondering, I mean... Again, with the popularity of Blade of the Rune King, we've seen a lot of those, normally tank-heavy junglers actually building that as their one damage item. I mean, you really think that he's going to go full tank when that Blade of the Rune King is available?
I think it's going to be a wise decision. Because Microsoft needs a frontline. Nocturne can be that frontline, and when he uses his ultimate, not only does he offer that vision obscuration, whatever you want to call it, but he'll be able to dive in on the carries for Google and just be a nuisance and distract them, especially if he's tank enough to just take that damage, so that they kind of have to... Because if you leave Nocturne alone, even if he's tank, he still does quite a bit of damage.
Yep. And speaking of diving, we do have a Diana pick, and this is actually very interesting because, I'm not entirely sure with the Kayle pick where Diana's going to end up now.
She's going to be top.
Are you sure we're not going to see Diana mid and Kayle top?
I'm going to assume... No, I'm going to assume it's Diana top. Diana top just does fine.
She does. And I think, in general, Kayle can be more abusive in a in that shorter lane than I think Diana can. And Elise, so there we go. Elise, very, very versatile pick, and she's more likely to be top lane.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So we're going to see Diana versus Elise top lane, you think, and then Kayle versus Anivia mid?
I believe so. The interesting thing about these team compositions is you can look and you can see Google's team is very, very dive-centric. Diana, Xin Zhao, even Kayle is like, well, with her ultimate, supports diving onto enemy carries very, very well. The Microsoft team comp, like you were saying, is not nearly as fleshed out because Nocturne doesn't quite fit in there. They do need a front line. Elise can build tanky, Nocturne should build tanky, and then Anivia, Varus, and Lulu are going to offer a lot of control. So I think I like Microsoft's team composition just because of the wall, the Varus ultimate, and the Lulu general crowd control against a dive-heavy composition.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to see how that works out. I mean, I think in general there doesn't seem to be any, massive AoE hell that has been so popular over the past few months.
Mm-hmm.
I think team fights in general look like they're really going to come down to execution.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely.
I mean, that's there. You're going to have carries on both sides being dove by all sorts of dashes. You're going to have a lot of disengage ability from both sides. It's really just going to come down to who gets caught and how well they're able to get away.
I think the onus of execution is going to be mostly on Microsoft because Google's team can basically just pick the person they want to dive on and execute that, and that's pretty much a click of a button. Microsoft needs to be more calculated with their... I mean, Varus ult has to land. That has to happen. Anivia wall has to be well placed to separate the team from Google, the diving in that sense. And with Nocturne just not quite fitting in there perfectly, it is going to be a little bit more difficult for Microsoft to execute it perfectly, I believe.
Yeah, I think in the end it probably is going to come down to Tristana though, because I mean, just looking at the amount of sheer damage that Microsoft seems to have. I mean, Varus and Anivia and Elise all offering quite a bit of damage on their own. And I mean, Nocturne, having like whether he builds tanky or he actually builds some DPS, they'll actually be able to do a lot. I think in general they have a little bit more damage, so they're going to do a lot better in an extended team fight before Tristana hits that critical mass.
Yeah, and that's that whole Tristana weaker mid-game sort of thing. Like, Varus is going to be very strong from the beginning. He always has been. So it is going to take... Google's going to have to make sure that they can get Tristana to that very strong fed status to be able to deal out the damage that is necessary.
Yeah, and we've seen other teams try this before, sort of picking a late-game team on a gamble that it's going to work out. But, I mean, a lot of the time we've seen that, the enemy team sees this coming and they're able to close it out earlier before that late game can kick in. So again, I mean, is it really worth gambling on Tristana like that? I don't think this is a full 100% gamble completely on Tristana because Google does have a good team comp, but I mean, I think in the end, if it goes past a certain amount of time, it is really going to rely on that AD carry positioning.
Yep, and certainly don't count out the damage that Diana and Kayle are going to put out, especially in those mid-game fights. I played against Diana for the first time in a while yesterday, and I got destroyed because I completely forgot how much damage she does early on. And with Kayle and Xin Zhao, there's a lot of damage in these mid-game fights.
Okay, I have to point something out that's sort of unrelated to our conversation right now. Now, looking at the bans. Looking at the bans for a second. So,
yeah.
For the blue team, Google, we're seeing GGL for
right.
Google.
No, they don't care about you. No.
What are those bans from purple team?
No, they don't care about you.
WAV, what is that? What do you think that's a reference to? I don't
We are victorious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Was that what they're referring to?
I
WAV
believe...
sounds like wave to me. Wave of shadow. That's I appreciate the shout out. Thank you.
I expect something from me next time.
So does that mean now? Wait a minute. Does that mean I have to support Microsoft now, and you have to support Google?
No.
Is that how it works?
No.
No. Google didn't support you, so you don't have to support anybody, I guess.
True.
Thank you, Microsoft. I appreciate it, but I'm not allowed to be biased. So.
Well, you can be.
I can be, but I shouldn't be. That wouldn't be responsible casting on my part.
So how do you think the the early game here is going to be?
The early game now, are we talking invades as usual?
I mean, I can talk about invades, but I mean...
All right, so let's talk about invades. What are we seeing here? We're seeing a Taric from Google, so I mean, obviously really, really strong in an invade, right?
Like, I see Taric on my team, I'm like, I want to invade.
But I mean,
Microsoft's level 1 is so much better.
It is. They've got an AOE, semi-AOE stun in Anivia. They've got AOE slow. They've got, I mean, Nocturne has his, little self boost a little bit. Although I mean, I guess if he can get close enough, he'd be picking up Fear. Although I think at level 1 you still pick up Q.
Yeah.
Even
absolutely.
in an invade as Nocturne. And what about? I don't play Elise that much. What would you be? The
He's
stun.
got a stun,
yeah, that's right. Skill shot stun. Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, I don't expect Google to invade just because Microsoft's level 1 is so good.
That is really scary.
I could see Microsoft invading. I mean, Glitter Lance and Lisa's stun. Oh, excuse me, God. Anivia's stun. Yeah, there's a lot of CC going on there, and quite a bit of damage, especially from Varus and Nocturne. Like, I could see level 1 invade from Microsoft.
Yeah, and I mean that's also going to make ganks particularly dangerous. I mean, if we're going to see Nighttime ever, decide to come down from top lane, which, he will do, that's, the job of a responsible top laner is to know when to come down. That is going to make things especially scary. If we do see, sort of a 4-man to 5-man pylon on the bottom lane, there's not going to be much escaping from Tomato Orange and Yarius.
Yeah. I want to talk about summoners, but we can't for
another
20 seconds. I know.
20 seconds. We will talk about summoners very, very soon. Anyway, so looking at the matchups now, we're seeing Ravenite in the jungle, Onzen Zhao versus Ibne on Nocturne, and that's, I mean, skill-wise, I mean, they seem pretty even, and both playing very, very strong champions. It's really just going to come down who can exert the better pressure onto which lanes at what times. I mean, obviously, that's the role of a jungler. We're going to see how well they can execute that. And now that I've talked enough, that last-second summoner switch from Nighttime.
Oh,
look at that.
Where? Oh.
There it is.
Oh, man. That was some pretty good foresight, and I had them covered, so definitely no ghosting there.
All right. Well, maybe they were listening. Maybe all my talk about Nighttime coming down to the bottom lane made him think, maybe I should actually have teleport so I can get to the bottom lane. So then see Microsoft just taking my advice, putting my name in the bans. That's they're my team,
no, they don't care about you, man. But I do like that both top laners have that teleport. It's going to allow for a lot of probably aggression bot lane. I would love to see like a 5-minute 5v5 team fight.
That'd be huge. I would. Are we telling them to make that happen?
If they want to, I don't care.
See, now here's the thing.
We can't influence this. That can't happen.
I think it may depend on which of the top laners gets down there first, because I mean, early game. It also depends on what time in the game, I guess, because essentially the strength of a Diana, teleport gank is going to be she's going to have to go right in. She can't just poke and sit back, right? She's going to have to go right in. She's going to have a little bit of tankiness to her name, but she's going to go in. She's going to use her, I don't know. I honestly can't remember the name of that move.
I don't.
Her E when
Cascade, Lunar Cascade,
in.
Something like that.
Oh, nice. All right.
I think.
Wow, I'm impressed. I can't remember the name of that. But anyway, yeah, so she's going to have to pull everyone in. She's going to be able to dash a couple times. But, I mean, that's really going to be it. So she's going to have to be able to soak a fair amount of damage, after a bait. Whereas a teleport down from Nighttime is going to be, some ranged poke. She can try to get a stun off, and if she doesn't, then she can convert into spider form, be a little bit tanky, and get into somebody's face.
I disagree with your sentiment that Diana can't poke. Her Q is a very low cooldown.
She can poke, but her strength in a gank is
what I'm saying. Oh, sure.
She's going to have to dive in. Like, you're not just going to sit back and throw Q, and that's going to be it.
Right.
She's going to have to go, face first.
I would like to take note of the difference in summoners from Tomato Orange and Ace Legend.
Summoners noted.
That barrier coming out from Varus. Barrier and Cleanse are pretty much the two summoners that most AD carries are running now. For good reason. I mean, they're both very, very strong, very useful, especially with the recent barrier, or not recent, but the most recent barrier buff. Actually makes it a really, really desirable summoner for AD carries. It's just, I love watching baits happen because of that barrier, because no one expects it anymore.
But here's the thing. I mean, Ace Legend taking barrier against a Taric?
Tarek is really the only stun they have, and I mean, getting out of that cleanse would be, or getting out of that stun with cleanse would make him pretty safe, but there's also a lot of other desirable stun targets that Tarek can take. I mean, Elise, Nocturne, and Anivia all would be people that I could see being stunned. So, I understand why he wants the barrier. He's going to be jumped on a lot.
Yeah.
And then a lot of CC coming out from Microsoft. So I definitely understand.
That makes sense.
The cleanse from Tristana.
All right, and now that we are on the loading screen, it is my favorite time of every cast, the skin analysis.
Yes.
So, Google, we're seeing Silver Kale.
Ooh.
You don't see that very often.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Yeah, that's a fairly rare skin, I'd say. So, Silver Kale versus and mid lane, who's that? Hextech Anivia. The rarity goes to Silver Kale for sure.
Certainly.
But Hextech Anivia is pretty awesome skin.
Man, they gave you no time to do that.
I know they did. Is it already over?
Yeah.
I'm still on the loading screen here, so I guess I can sort of keep going.
Well,
I'm just
no.
to load up.
Oh,
Well,
really?
you're gonna have to commentate a bit
Oh,
because I'm still on
lovely.
the loading screen.
Well, nothing's happening yet. So.
Well, I imagine not.
I'm getting my stuff situated. Interesting.
There it goes.
Okay, good. So, are you on live? Are you?
I am.
Okay. So, it's interesting to note that Tristana, Tomato Orange, is actually opting for cloth armor first. I don't know what he's going to do with that.
That.
Oh boy.
Oh, this is some. Oh, there's a stun landing. Oh, it missed Frozen Fire's huge damage. Silent J landing that. Yari's getting stunned. Is going to have to flash out, but I think this might be the kill. Ibne going to get that last auto attack. No, he's not. First Blood actually going to be picked up by Ace Legend with the flash in. They're still chasing down Raven Knight. Raven Knight's got to get his butt out of there. That few auto attacks going by. Ibne's chasing in between the turrets. He's got to be real careful. Top, Broseph getting damaged. Tomato Orange dealing a lot of that auto attack damage. Now trying to chase them off. Broseph almost going down. And wow, a very, very daring invade from Microsoft. I mean, you were talking about how they had the better invade team, but they look where Google was hiding. That was amazing.
Like Microsoft was hiding. Google invaded.
Oh yes, sorry. I'm mixing that up. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
But I'm an idiot. Anyway,
I want to and I don't know why Google invaded on that because Microsoft's team is by far superior. But Microsoft laid down a ward in this top mid lane brush. It's since died, but they saw exactly when Google was walking in, and I mean, Bro4,
Bro4. I gotta try and remember that. That's right.
Bro4 barely missed the Anivia stun, but there were just so many stun, and the nighttime threw out his stun onto Yarius, and Yarius just couldn't get away. I mean, Ibne had to burn his flash, and I believe, Ace Legend also burned his flash. So, but Ace Legend picks up the kill and actually went back and got a long sword right off the bat.
Yeah, the lane pressure is going to be really huge on Tomato Orange. He's going to have a lot of trouble, and I'm honestly not really certain what the Cloth 5-pot start is about. I mean, yes, he's going to have 5 pots, which is great, but Cloth Armor, I mean, a lot of the damage coming out from Silent J and Ace Legend is going to be magical aside from auto attacks, so I'm not really sure. And even what is a Cloth Armor build into for an AD carry?
I can't think of anything right off the bat. Maybe he's going like a Wriggle's Lantern or something? But that doesn't even... Does that still build out of Cloth Armor? I don't know. I haven't built that item.
No. But anyway, yeah, I mean, bottom lane for Google getting abused really hard by that Ace Legend Silent J combo. Like, Tomato Orange and Yarius are definitely on the back foot here. They're going to be in a lot of trouble. And
that's exactly what Ace Legend and Silent J need to do. They have this advantage, so they just want to keep it and roll with it. I mean, they have so much attack damage up on Tristana, especially because Tomato Orange got that Cloth Armor.
Yep, and so we're seeing Ibne wants to try and set something. Yeah, that damage. Tomato Orange is going to have to get out of there because I think another, like, maybe a Q harass with an auto attack is going to be enough to take him down. And the gank going down to mid, KT Flash seeing that coming, landing a little bit of harass on Ibne, and just going to sort of ward him out of there. Stun landing on KT Flash from Bro4. I almost said Broseph. And then taking him down to about half health.
Oh, I do want to note that it is actually KT Flash mid. I thought it was going to be Frozen Fire.
See? So
yeah,
there you go.
Good call. You're correct. But Oh, KT Flash taking a lot of damage from that.
Yeah, and there's the Ignite going down. One more auto attack might have been enough to take him out. KT Flash barely avoiding the death here. Broseph did not have Flash, was not able to do anything. KT Flash really wants to stay in lane. Oh my goodness, the pressure going on. Ravenite entering in, trying to do some counter jungling here, but is not going to be able to do it. And so now the ping's going down. Bro4 knows that Ravenite is going to be coming out. And then again, landing that stun. KT Flash shielding to save himself. Needs to stop getting hit by those stuns from Bro4.
Yeah, Bro4 does not have his flash right now. Oh, and Ravenite is being so aggressive up on Ibne. He knows how low Ibne is. He must have seen him and just, he wants blood right there. He like, oh, because Ibne had ganked mid before. And yeah, and Ravenite just being very, very aggressive. They know that Silent J warded this dragon, so they're just gonna, I mean, Ravenite's gonna go back into his jungle. KT Flash does need to go back and buy because he was getting harassed hard, and he's out of health potions now, so he needs to go refresh those.
Yeah, and a big problem, I mean, I can understand exactly why he didn't want to go back, because once you fall behind an Anivia and she hits 6, she will out-farm you the rest of the game.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, going back, you're already going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage, and so, I mean, that's exactly what Bro4 wants.
Yeah, and Bro4 is running a bit low on mana, but he does have some mana pots. I'm not sure. Oh, Ravenite jumping in onto that minion, trying to scare Bro4 a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ravenite originally, when he was sort of doing that counter jungling, he wanted to see if maybe he could cycle down to bottom lane and help out his buddies Tomato Orange and Yarius a little bit. But, I mean, the ward coverage was so good, and Tomato Orange and Yarius eating so much harass that, I mean, it could have possibly been turned around on them, even in a 3v2.
Yeah, and top lane, I'm just not even going to look at top lane anymore.
No,
it's super boring.
There's not a whole lot to say about it.
There's nothing going on.
Both of them just farming up. Not a lot of harass going down. Nighttime able to farm at range, as is Frozen Fire, neither wanting to engage on the other. But as soon as those teleports get blown, you know we're going to see some heavy action.
Oh, Ibne coming up, sneaking in through the bush. There was no ward.
No, Frozen Fire did not see it. There's the spider going down, and Frozen Fire actually having to run towards the enemy turret to try and get away. Is he going to be able to, however?
He doesn't quite have the flash.
Ibne actually missing the Duskbringer, and that might be. There's the speed boost from the heal. Frozen Fire, Nighttime going to try to get it, and Frozen Fire actually able to escape.
That was the saddest gank in the world.
I know. I was going to say, like, that overcommitment. They really predicted him to walk into that second bush, and it didn't happen.
Oh, man. I know. But I'd like to point out that, I mean, Ace has since gone back, but before he did, Tomato Orange was keeping up in CS despite having that significant attack damage deficit. But now Ace does have, oh, the gank on KT Flash not going to do anything. Ace Legends does now have 2 Doran's Blades and the, whatchamacallit, Vamp Scepter. So he's going to have quite a bit of sustain and extra damage there, too. Oh, Tomato Orange taking a lot of damage.
I mean, I think this might be a bait. Tomato Orange, I imagine, starts getting hit by some harass on purpose. Ravenite wants to go in, but they're too far back their turret, and the minion coverage is too good, and it's... Ravenite. They don't know he's there. There it is. He's going in on top of Silent J. The stun landing, but Silent J flashing out of time, and so an unsuccessful gank from Google.
Yep, the ganks being very less than stellar. Unfortunately, not getting well. Not to make fun of the ganks themselves, but they're just not working out. They're just not succeeding.
Well, they're exerting pressure. I mean,
yes.
That's really what needs to happen for Tomato Orange and Yarius right now. And Tomato Orange actually doing a really excellent job of farming. So again, that Cloth 5 pots, I guess, is doing exactly what he needed from it. He's keeping up in farm, and I mean, if Ace Legend and Silent J can't shut down that Tristana, that's going to be big trouble for them come mid-lane game.
Yeah, I am interested to see what he picks up with that cloth armor. He has just gone back. Oh, he grabs the Doran's Blade. Okay. So I guess it was just for that extra little bit of beefiness early on.
Yep.
Which, that's great foresight from Tomato Orange, just to know that. And it is wise, because, I mean, Lulu does, just on her own, with attack damage, do a lot of harassment. And Ace Legend did get that early lead, so, I mean, the cloth armor was bought, obviously, before that, but it definitely paid off.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, I mean, only now is Ace Legend, you know, overtaking Tomato Orange in farm, and I mean, it took him a little bit. I mean, we're already seeing Tomato Orange come back to lane, and he's not going to miss any of this minion wave, so he's going to be able to pull back ahead.
Oh, Bro's getting
gank going on mid lane. Ravenite. Oh, I was going to say, KT Flash was almost able to get out of there. Ravenite trying to get those attacks on, and the teleport in from Nighttime, able to protect that egg, and Bro4 will survive despite the gank from Ravenite.
I think that was a little unnecessary, but I mean, it certainly doesn't hurt to be a little safer. But it is unfortunate that now Nighttime's teleport is done, and Frozen Fire does know. Oh, but it's KT Flash with the teleport. I'm confused. I mean,
Well, I was
Diana
gonna
with
say-
teleport, even mid, is still very useful because Diana does have those really, really scary ganks. So I was just confused because I
Well,
thought there was
maybe
going to be.
I was gonna say. I guess the reasoning. I mean, I guess in that sense that I think that teleport was honestly very, very good because I think Bro4 was in real danger of going down to a Xin with red buff. All he needed was a few auto attacks. I mean, he's got negative resistances, right? So without that teleport in, Raven Knight could have probably gotten the kill, long before. I mean, even Frozen Fire was on his way down, so like they may have been able to 2v1 at the turret,
Oh, I mean,
if not the pressure from nighttime. So.
I mean, Bro4 had the flash, so I think he could have gotten out. But again, it does not hurt to be a little on the safe side, especially against someone like Xin Zhao, because Xin Zhao does do a lot of. Oh, he's.
Speaking of Xin Zhao, Raven Knight warding up the enemy jungle, warding up Dragon. They want to sort of try and see if they can maybe contest this blue. They want to make something happen, but I know Silent J and Ace Legend are definitely ready for that. They were hiding in the tri-brush, and now we're going to see the two junglers run into each other. Ibne and Raven Knight going at it, but Raven Knight at the disadvantage here. Ibne using his ultimate, and I think Raven Knight has made a huge mistake here. The stun going down. Broseph landing that stun and giving the kill to Ibne.
Nice shot, Bro4. That was incredibly well played. I mean, the ultimate from Ibne did really prevent KT Flash from being able to get over there safely because he doesn't know exactly where it is.
Yep, I was going to say, I mean, I think Raven Knight was a little bit overeager there. He got spotted putting the ward in. The team was ready for him. He should have said, all right, whatever, you guys caught me. Have your blue,
Yeah.
A little bit over-aggressive.
Tomato Orange doing quite a good job staying up on CS. He did fall behind when he went back, but now he's up again on Ace Legend. He's just, and that's gonna be really, really good. I mean, oh geez, the stun from Yaris going in. What are you doing, Yaris?
He wasn't even in range with his ultimate. I'm not entirely sure. Like, he really wanted to make something happen, but I guess, they weren't really on board together for that. Tomato Orange getting a whole bunch of harass, and Ace Legend getting shielded up, so none of that harass was sticking. Frozen Fire Nighttime top lane, actually. I mean, Nighttime...
Finally some action.
I was going to say, Nighttime looks like he's having a little bit of trouble keeping up with Frozen Fire. Actually behind in CS and in health right now.
Yeah, he does have that Elixir of Fortitude, and we'll have to see if he remembers to use it, because if I ever get that item, just keep as a health bank, I never remember to use it.
I'm just bad at item actions in general, and look as though we might see another gank bottom lane from Raven Knight. Tomato Orange and Yaris need to sort of clear away the wave so that Raven Knight can move into the bush, which is warded this time, so he's going to walk in there, and they're going to see it coming a mile away.
Yeah, and Ace Legend applying the pressure. Oh, there's Raven Knight. He's coming in.
He tried to dash onto a minion to get closer, but it was not close enough, and so the gank will fail. Raven Knight is going to have to go and farm up to try to keep up in the jungle.
These ganks for Raven Knight just not quite working. I mean, we did see that Vi ban, and Raven Knight does love Vi, and Xin Zhao just is not working quite as well as Vi did for him.
No, both junglers doing an excellent job of applying pressure to all the lanes, however. I really am liking the aggressive play. I just think Raven Knight may need to sort of... I almost think that helping out top lane, I mean, they might be able to secure a kill on Nighttime, considering how well KT Flash on his own is applying... not KT Flash, sorry, Frozen Fire is applying the pressure on his own.
Yeah, and, I mean, one kill top lane does really snowball it in that player's favor, and Nighttime does come back with the Haunting Guise, but he doesn't have any sustain, and that's one thing Kayle does have on top of him. Oh, there's going to be a 3v3 down here.
I'm not really sure. Ibne actually showing himself really early. I was wondering if he was going to try and wait for the counter gank so he could jump in, but I mean, his ultimate was not quite up yet. So I guess he was only coming down to cover up the lane. They planned that out. Ibne coming to clear the wave. He's going to stick around so that both support and AD carry can go back and pick up a much needed item.
Yeah, it does, as you said, it does feel very, very much like the junglers are just being very, very smart with their pressure. They want to make sure that, each side doesn't get too, comfortable, try and go too crazy with attacks and ganks. KT Flash not landing that Q on Broseph. Broseph landing the stun, but Raven Knight is there. Broseph does see him with that ward, so again, nothing coming for Raven Knight.
No, he's trying real hard, this Raven Knight, and now I'm going to walk past another ward. He wants to make the pressure happen onto Nighttime, but Nighttime's going to be long, long gone.
Barring any sort of slip-ups or just blatant misplays, I don't think we'll see another kill until a dragon fight. Just because both teams are being very careful, they're being very smart, especially with ward placement, with general ganks, they're just not really overcommitting themselves. And that is a really smart position to take, especially in the first game. I mean, you want to make sure that your team gets the lead going into this best of 3 so that you can relax a little bit in the second game, but still, I mean, when you relax, you generally play better.
Yeah, definitely so. And I mean, it's interesting to note that neither team is really looking to force a dragon fight, because I don't think either team really has a clear advantage one way or the other. And you don't really want to be forcing fights unless you really know you're going to win them.
Yeah, I agree. And we do see these two junglers are now up top. Nighttime
Oh,
going
here's
in.
Nighttime getting caught. He's seeing as though he can burst enough, really baiting, but it goes down way too quickly. Ibne wants to go in now. Frozen Fire disappearing into the brush and just getting bursted down way too quickly from that Frozen Fire and Raven Knight damage, and that is going to be the first kill on the board for Google.
Wow, that was so much damage, and Frozen Fire didn't even have to use his ultimate. That intervention is just still just hanging out there. They can actually dive Ibne here.
Yeah, Ibne's out of mana, so I'm going to see Raven Knight. There's the dash on top and the flash out. Will the slow be enough for Raven Knight and Frozen Fire to catch up? The speed boost heal. There's a flash on top of Ibne.
Oh.
Is Ibne going to get knocked up? No, he will escape. And, I mean, Frozen Fire and Raven Knight might be able to take down this turret.
I believe... Oh, maybe not. There's no creeps there now. They did clear out this wave, but now... Oh, Nighttime coming with a teleport. Oh, on this ward!
Nighttime, he wants to get Frozen
They know
Fire.
he's there.
It was a little bit early, but and I was going to say Nighttime eating a lot of damage. Raven at just those auto attacks, and now Frozen Fire blowing the ultimate, but might be a little bit early. Nighttime another teleport top lane from KT Flash. KT Flash going to try to get in there and land that Crescent Strike, and it does miss, and Nighttime's going to be safe. They are going to take down the turret, and up comes Bro4 from the mid lane. He's going to sort of ward off that siege. They don't want to lose their turret just yet. So much action occurring in the top lane, and I think this might, the appearance of Anivia might just have sort of warded off any real pressure from now. Or are they going to turn it around? It looks as though they're going to try and turn this around and take the tower themselves now.
There's not enough creeps. They can't take the tower, but they do want to apply some pressure here. They must have heard what I said about top lane being boring, because they certainly changed that.
Yeah, definitely so. A lot of pressure going on bottom lane. Tomato Orange eating a lot of damage. That damage, he's actually having to jump out to avoid dying here. The exhaust going down on top of Ace Legend, but sort of unnecessary. And now Ace Legend and Silent Shay are going to be free to push the lane as they please.
Yep, Ibne now walking into Raven Knight in the jungle, getting jumped on, but Raven Knight does not want to actually fight that. It's interesting, Yarius actually held on to that exhaust until really late when Tomato Orange had already jumped away. If he was going to use it, I think he really should have used it, obviously right away, but Yarius is out of mana. So Ace Legend can just pretty much keep pushing this.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they're pretty free to take the tower, and looking as though the pressure coming down. Ibne and Bro4 are actually going to come down before any of the laners from Google can react to this, and they're going to pick up a dragon.
Yeah, I mean, they do know that now Yarius and Tomato Orange have to go back. They are too low, and it looks like Ace and Silent J are maybe not want to. Okay, so Ace doesn't want to. Silent J's like, yo, let's take this tower. But no, Ibne, Bro4. Just working on this by themselves. Yeah, they timed that very, very well. They knew Yarius and Tomato Orange had to go back, so it was perfect movement. They saw the opportunity and grabbed it. Very, very good.
And I mean, I would say the teleports are down, but technically KT Flash is the one with the teleport, and he can just sort of walk over. But him by himself is not going to be enough to prevent a dragon, sorry. And so now Microsoft increasing their lead to about 2,000 gold right now.
Oh, Nighttime having absolute trouble with this Frozen Fire aggression, and that this is Kayle right here. I mean, Kayle, you were right. Kayle can be good anywhere. I just assumed that she was going to be mid, but Elise is having so much trouble at this point.
Yeah, it's really looking to be a very tough lane, and I mean, looking at the sort of the farm differences, I'm actually kind of surprised at how well KT Flash is keeping up with Bro4. Like, he's not behind by all that much, and against an Anivia, there's a tower going down for Google, so they're going to sort of close the gold gap a little bit, but Frozen Fire way, way, way ahead of Nighttime right now in farm.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm not really that surprised. I mean, Kayle just does get really, really strong really, really quickly, and Elise is generally that early on lane bully, but can't really keep up with the power curve coming from Kayle. But Raven Knight is sitting in this bush bottom. He does want to make something happen here.
Yeah, I think what they need to do is I think they need to perform a little bit of a tower dive now before the rest of the team catches wind. Tomato Orange eating so much harass all game. The harass from Ace Legend and Silent J being absolutely fantastic. And now Ibne has sort of caught wind that they're pushing the lane a little bit hard. And Raven Knight just sort of sitting in that bush. I'm wondering, Ibne is going to get seen.
Yep, and he may get closed in on by...
Collapse of the junglers one more time. Ibne actually and Raven Knight going at it again. And Ibne choosing just to walk away. No confrontation here. Just walk away. Just walk away.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
Just walk away. Just walk away.
Oh, but the pressure coming in.
Pull me back, bro.
The pressure coming in from Microsoft, and they are in a bit of a lead. I mean, they only have a 1,000 gold lead, but they must feel like they've got more of a lead because they're being very aggressive in certain spots, and not unrightfully so. I mean, they do have a lot of strength right now, and they want to keep pushing this. They want to get this tower. They want to get some map control. And Raven Knight just can't really stop. Oh, they're not going to push it. They're making me liars, man.
I'm not really sure what the objective right now for Microsoft is exactly. I mean, they're not taking turrets, and the longer they take, the stronger Tomato Orange is going to get. It's kind of dangerous, in my opinion, letting this go so long.
I agree, and that's one of those things against Tristana you need to be really, really careful about, because she does get really strong really quickly. And it's like, if you don't contain her, oh my god, my directed camera is not my manual camera. What is it? Oh, nope, it's not working. Hold on.
No, I've heard that bug apparently happens sometimes, so I think we might have to sort of...
No!
As is. I don't know what you can do to fix it, if anyone knows in Twitch chat what to do to sort of fix that bug. But anyway, until then, we're going to have to stick with, I guess it's stuck on directed camera?
Yeah, I can't pull it off of people.
Alright, well, I guess we're going to have to sort of stick with that for now. It's not the worst. Directed camera, Riot's done a decent job in programming it. Anyway, we are seeing the mid laner now, Bro4, coming down, and they want to maybe finally put on some pressure. The ultimate landing on Tomato Orange and actually going to go on to Yarius as well. Tomato Orange getting bursted down. The dive from Ibne on top of Tomato Orange. Tomato Orange will actually be able to get out okay. A 4-person dive.
Teleport.
And here's the teleport bottom lane from KT Flash. And wow, I mean, surviving a 4-man dive is pretty impressive considering that ultimate did land. Now Bro4 coming down, and this is going to be 5-man turret pressure. If they don't take the turret here, Microsoft, I have no idea what you're doing.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, they get this tower pretty much for free now. I mean, there's no trouble at all. I want to click mid, but I can't. This is awful.
And looking as though Frozen Fire is just going to try and do as much damage to the turret as he can, but now the whole team of Microsoft coming up and going to try and deal with that. Frozen Fire is going to have to get his butt out of there along with Raven Knight, because they're both going to be in trouble if they get caught. And there we go, the defense on the turret. I mean, I'm not really sure why they waited for them to push the turret, because it's not as though there are any objectives on the map that they can likely take, unless they're going to try and take an early Baron?
I don't think they can quite do that yet. My camera is, like, I can hit space and move between people, but then it's centered on that person.
Apparently someone says you can go to the menu and go out of the menu to fix it.
I love you, whoever suggested that.
All right.
You're amazing.
Thank you very, very much, Agony X90, and as well Taffy Guy, both of you guys. Really, thanks a lot.
I love you. That was so annoying.
We appreciate the help. So gold now. Kills 3-1 in favor of Microsoft. 1 tower each, and just a little bit of a gold advantage, 1.5k in favor of Microsoft. This is still absolutely anybody's game, and I'm really enjoying it. The Nashor's Tooth and Haunted Guys being picked up for Frozen Fire, and Liandry's being picked up for the equivalent top laner, Nighttime. Just having a look at the rest of these items. Nothing completely out of the ordinary that I'm seeing so far. Locket, actually seeing a Wriggles on Nocturne. Now, I mean, do you think that that's a better choice than one of the Spirit Stone items on Nocturne?
I personally don't like Wriggles all that much anymore, but I don't play junglers that much to really know. But I do like, whenever I have to play junglers, I do like getting those Spirit Stones. They are just so good, and Wriggles just feels very weak to me right now. It doesn't seem to do all that much. So I'm not, maybe, I mean, he must know more about jungle than I do, but I can't tell you.
And look at the AD carry items. Now, is Tristana looking to build that Blade of the Ruined King, or is she going to go straight to Infinity Edge?
It appears to be an Infinity Edge rush. Blade of the Ruined King really is very strong on Tristana, but since the nerf, it is difficult to get there in a timely fashion. And I wasn't actually looking. Tomato Orange was maxing W, so he's not really going for that attack speed.
So they are going for the late game then?
Yes.
Like
when I max...
the stuns landing on top of Frozen Fire. An excellent wall from Bro4. Frozen Fire eating so much damage, not having to blow his ult, but I mean, that chain stun from Bro4 at Nighttime, plus the wall, really, really great combo. Going to force Frozen Fire to have to go back.
Yep, it was really well done from Frozen Fire, though, to not panic ultimate. He knew that both Nighttime and Bro4 had blown pretty much all their cooldowns, so there was no real worry about dying right there. He just sort of sat there and took it.
Notice how Frozen Fire didn't actually go back, just using his heal to sort of get himself back up, because they know that the Dragon attempt, that was really meant to sort of force one of their main carries back so they could try Dragon. So instead of a 5v4, now they're going to have to deal with a 5v5, and Frozen Fire does still have his ultimate, so Microsoft being very, very wary of going in and, you know, going balls out for the Dragon attempt.
A lot of pings going down from the Microsoft team onto this blue bush. They want to just hide and wait. KT Flash landing that Q onto Silent J.
Ooh, those tense moments where you have to make that decision. Do I want to go in the stun landing on KT Flash? And there's the initiation they were looking for. Ibne going in, but eating so much damage. Like I was talking about earlier, the ultimate on Raven Knight, really good. Ibne, the first one to go down. Tomato Orange able to sit back and just do a whole lot of damage. Frozen Fire getting chased off by Nighttime, and a stun going down. Bro 4 killing Raven Knight, and there's a wall going down, getting the kill on KT Flash. And that is going to be, wow, a really good fight. 1 for 3 in favor of Microsoft and a Dragon.
There's just so much crowd control coming out from Microsoft. Like, Google can do all they want to try and jump onto Bro 4 or Ace Legend or Silent J, but they can't ignore all the CC, the just general AoE CC. I mean, even Anivia stun is technically AoE if you can land on multiple people, and Glitter Lance definitely AoE if you angle it correctly. So there's just so much coming out, and the AoE ultimate from Anivia, I believe it's called Blizzard, right? That's what it's called.
It's called Glacial Storm, actually.
Oh, what's Blizzard? That's gotta be something. Anyway,
no, there's no Blizzard.
I mean, most of
it's gaming company, Sonic.
Most of Google's team was fighting in Anivia's ultimate, so that's just gonna spell disaster right there.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm actually beginning to see why they picked Nocturne in that comp. I mean, Ibne building up full tank items pretty much, like not bothering with any damage whatsoever. He's more than willing to sacrifice himself if the rest of the team, which, you know, does way more damage than he does, are able to get off all their spells, which they were. I mean, like, he jumped onto the first target he could. He was just sort of being a general nuisance for, like, he's completely unignorable. Like, the enemy team, you know, Google can't ignore his presence. And so, you know, he'll sacrifice himself to, you know, let them fight in a Glacial Storm or get hit by a Verisalt.
Oh, but KT Flash using his teleport up onto Ibne. Ibne is going to get away because of that spell shield. Great timing there, and wasting a lot of time for Frozen Fire and KT Flash. But yeah, I mean, Ibne is building up. He's got the Emblem of Valor for the Aegis. He's got the Kindle Gem, I'm assuming, for the... Oh, little fight here.
Yeah, I was going to say just a little bit. Oh, look, KT Flash completely caught out, bursted down. So much damage from Nighttime and Bro 4. I mean, that's absolutely crazy. And so now, I mean, that's going to cost them a turret at least.
More than likely. KT Flash just completely evaporated. Like he just disappeared.
Yeah, he was there and then he was gone. You're like a little fight going. I'm like, oh, I should go look at this little fight. And then it was over.
Ibne getting engaged on by Raven Knight, but...
Had the stun just barely missing from Nighttime on top of Raven Knight, and Frozen Fire eating up a lot of damage there, and so he's going to have to be real careful if he wants to stick around here. He's got that red pot on. And there's a stun going down from Broseph, only hitting Tomato Orange. And look at all that damage there! Bro 4 dealing so much damage to Frozen Fire, he didn't even have time to use his ultimate. I don't think he thought that was going to kill him.
I didn't either. There was so much. You have to...
Oh my god. And the stun landing 2 on top of Tomato Orange. Ibne diving in. Tomato Orange barely able to jump out. And Ibne, I mean, like, this is going to be huge. Raven Knight trying to get people off of that. The ultimate going down from Lulu on top of Broseph to keep him alive. The stun landing on Yaris. Yaris will go down. And now Bro 4 is going to be egged inside the enemy base. But I don't think they're going to be able to stop him from reviving.
No, not at all. Bro 4 just absolutely dominating this Google team.
The stun combo, absolutely beautiful job from Bro 4, waiting to use his stun at the end of the combo, using that E from the Glacial Storm slow rather than the damage from his stun, and just showing complete mastery of a very difficult champion to use.
Yeah, and that is absolutely an inhibitor. Oh my god, the wall coming down.
Oh, Raven Knight trying to dive in, getting stunned, and now getting bursted. I mean, he wants to go, and he wants to try to make something happen, and look at that, and then that root from Varus is going to be enough to slow Frozen Fire down off the flash. Frozen Fire really wants to engage. They're all so very low, but now Broseph is out of mana. He can't prevent them from coming in any longer. The stun landing on Frozen Fire. Raven Knight going to try and rush in. 1v5 would probably not be a good idea, and that is going to allow Microsoft to finally escape that disengage. And a huge snowbally fight for Microsoft, allowing them to take like a commanding lead. Oh, damn it! Should have seen that coming.
But God, Bro 4 just absolutely just showing the amount of mastery that he's got with Anivia, and as you said, a very difficult champion to use, and catching so many of the Google members out of position just with all of that utility. And the Google can't even pursue Microsoft's team. There's just too much crowd control coming out from Microsoft.
Yeah, and this is one of those problems, again, like Google playing for the late game. They really want Tristana to get powerful in it, because Tristana can deal with an Anivia. She's got the range once she hits 18, no problem. But they're not going to, Microsoft is not going to let that happen. No way are they going to let this get to, are they going to wait for Tomato Orange to hit 18?
Oh, absolutely not. And they can pretty much force a Baron at this point. I mean, Microsoft is pretty significantly ahead, about 6,000 gold. I mean, at 27 minutes, not the hugest lead, but still enough to make a dent.
Yeah, I mean, right now Google's going to have to hope for a pretty epic mistake from Microsoft to be able to capitalize. And I mean, they're going to have to sort of catch someone out similarly to the way Microsoft caught out Casey Flash.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like you can't get caught like that, especially as the game gets later. Getting caught gets more and more detrimental. And as you saw, that KT Flash getting caught just allowed Microsoft to keep rolling with that ball. They were able to push down the second turret and then keep going and catching, Tomato Orange, caught Yarius, caught Frozen Fire, and they just got an inhibitor just simply because KT Flash just was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yep, and now some easy money from Microsoft. They're going to take out that top turret. They can actually probably even push the next one. It looks like they may head over there because they can now transition into a Baron bait if they need to. And some pings going down on mid. I don't think they're actually very worried about KT Flash, but they know that KT Flash isn't there, so they know they're really safe to push this turret 5v4.
Yeah.
Oh, Frozen Fire getting caught out by a wall. The stun missing from Nighttime. Frozen Fire not getting hit by the stun, but that would have probably been his death if he did get hit. Now getting hit by a stun from Bro4, but they are able to defend the turret for now.
Yep, KT Flash up here now. It looks like Microsoft wants to just hang out in this bush and maybe bait something, but it doesn't look like Google wants to pursue, and wisely so. But Microsoft can pretty much just push this turret without worrying that much. Tomato Orange!
Somebody always getting caught by the wall. These walls from Bro4.
Beautiful.
And I mean, it really lends you to wonder why Anivia is underfavored right now.
She's hard, man. She's hard to play.
What are the excuses of the of the pro players who aren't picking her?
She's hard to play.
Why don't you play her? Why aren't you good enough to play her, Mr. Diamond 5?
Dude, she's too hard. She's too hard.
Oh, another! There's the stuns. Perfect stuns from both Nighttime and Bro4. They saw there's only one way for Frozen Fire to go, and those stuns both landing exactly where Frozen Fire went. Perfect catch out. And I mean, this is either going to be a turret or they could turn around and just grab a free Baron.
And Microsoft's in this position where they can just keep slow pushing. They don't have to rush. They just have to sit, wait for Bro4 to land that beautiful wall, which he has been doing over and over. And just wait until someone gets caught.
And then another stun. Tomato Orange taking so much damage. KT Flash getting caught out and dying again. That was, I mean, Tomato Orange got hit by, I guess, the double damage from his Flash Frost. Yeah, Flash Frost is the ability, I think. And just that alone was able to chunk Tomato Orange down to like 1/10 of his health from half health. It was nuts. Just insane amounts of damage. He has that Seraph's Embrace. He's about to pick up. He's got a Rod of Ages. He's about to pick up a Death Cap. I mean, there's no stopping Bro4 right now.
Not at all. And Ibne does not. Oh, he just pick up the Aegis right now. And that's gonna just make Microsoft even more difficult to deal with because Google just can't jump on them and do enough damage to kill anyone. And it looked, yep, Yarius did just now also pick up his Aegis, but God, it's it's so difficult. Google's in such a rough position right now.
Yeah, there's seriously, I mean, I really think that the only way they're going to be able to come back now is they're going to have to, catch someone out in a mistake. But, I mean, the way that Microsoft is playing the game, it's impossible for them to get caught out because they're playing as a team and they've got that protection from the bro walls. Can I call them bro walls?
You could absolutely call them bro walls.
Bro walls. Those bro walls have been absolutely on point the entire game, catching out exactly one member of Google every single time. They land those stuns, and here comes another stun. Tomato Orange not seeing that coming, getting hit by the stun, but able to jump out at the same time thanks to that little bit of delay. But this is going to be a turret for Microsoft. Yep,
Microsoft just being incredibly patient, which I love seeing when a team is able to just have a lead but not just get overconfident. They're doing exactly what they should be doing.
No, I do. I love the slow push. I gotta say, I really do. Like it's a sound strategy, and I think not enough teams really realize when you should be using it.
Yep, and it really does. I mean, it goes hand in hand with Anivia. I mean, we see CLG EU do stuff like this all the time, and it's just Anivia caters to it so well.
They're going to try to make something happen. I mean, they want to be able to take out this inhibitor. There's a free inhibitor, no turret there. But, I mean, Google's going to be really hard-pressed to defend us. The stun landing on KT Flash. They want to engage, but I don't know if it's going to be at the wall, allowing the engage to actually happen. KT Flash going to go down again? No, is barely able to get out. Oh, actually, Ibne going to dive in. And now he's going to be focused down, but he's so tanky. They don't do enough damage. And now the rest of the team, again, this is working out exactly in Ibne's favor. Frozen Fire finally able to get that kill, but now he's having to flash out, and now Microsoft is going to close in on him and take him out. Raven Knight is going to be next, as he did get squirreled, and double kills now for Nighttime. Yarius is going to get chased down. They're going to let him live for some reason. I have no clue why.
They want to get this in him, man. They can end the game right here.
Yeah, I was going to say, this could very well be the end of the game. They need some minion support, and that's going to be it.
God, that team fight was just, it was very action-packed, but it was largely just a slaughter coming from Microsoft. Just all of them focusing really, really well to take each target down when they needed to.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely going to be it. They're trying to sort of ward off Urias' Noctial defense on the bone, getting walled into his own fountain, and Microsoft will take the series, though not take the series, take the first game in the series, 1-0. We're going to move on to game 2.
Yep, and I am going to just drop on this black overlay for all of you guys, and we will be back for game 2 very shortly.